think now it's all about being a little bit more thoughtful of why you're doing a theatrical. At least for us, it's expensive. The UK rental is quite brutal, and so I think that you think about what it's doing. And so if it's a big project, if you're wanting to create a lot of buzz, if it's an awards project that you think is important to be seen by a really wide range of people, I think it's important to do a theatrical. But I do think that some projects are far better off going straight to platform.
Is the theatrical market still a driver for independent film? Or is it straight to streaming or a combination of both theatrical and streaming that's being put together? And is that becoming a priority? It appears that streamers are becoming more flexible, at least we're seeing recently a little bit more flexible on some of the windowings. They're not going after just pure global anymore. They will cut a deal, but we're seeing that from our side. So what is actually occurring, and what are you guys looking at?
Theatrical is still a very important component of how you release a film. It's different territory to territory. I mean, in the UK, the theatrical market's actually doing really well. We're very lucky. People have gone back to the cinema in very big numbers, which is nice to see. I think now it's all about being a little bit more thoughtful of why you're doing a theatrical. At least for us, it's expensive. The UK rental is quite brutal, and so I think that you think about what it's doing. And so if it's a big project, if you're wanting to create a lot of buzz, if it's an awards project that you think is important to be seen by a really wide range of people, I think it's important to do a theatrical. But I do think that some projects are far better off going straight to platform. So I think it's that having that flexibility of knowing what's right for what project is really important. And it's not always the easiest to convince filmmakers and such that not everything needs to go in the cinema, but it's knowing which ones do and don't, and measuring up against how much you're spending.
And it's about building the package with that in mind as well. I think we oftentimes have people come to us asking for an assessment of value on their project, and they have built a project that they have anticipated would be theatrical that is fairly clearly per what the market says, maybe not. So that's where there is a big gap, I think, into, at least in this independent space or very international fronted or pre-sales fronted financing space. There is a pretty big gap right now between films that are seen as theatrical and films that might be seen as a digital release.
One other question on that. Do you see it as a de-risking tool, or is it still, we've packaged it, this is where we're going, and then if it doesn't go the way we want it to, we'll go to streaming? Or how are you balancing those two?
Like international pre-sales, you mean? Or yeah? I mean, yes, there's this is where it gets a little bit tricky on that idea of if you launch something and you don't have financing set up, or you don't have a finance plan that is solid, that can ultimately kill a film by taking it to market, because then obviously financiers know that it's been out to market, and people haven't bitten at the level that you needed, and buyers also know when something has been around for 2 or 3 markets, there can be a little bit of a stale feeling. So going in or launching out into the marketplace, once you you really have to make sure that you're baked before doing that. Otherwise, it's incredibly risky. Yeah, but I think the international pre-sales model still works in a lot of cases. It's still really, really strong. It's how we work quite frequently. And again, when you're really surgical about the product that you're bringing to the marketplace, the foreign buyers have been there and have been showing up.
Yeah, and as I said, look, I think we're seeing positive activity on the foreign buyer side of it. So because we deal with a lot of companies that are actually releasing domestically, North America based, and selling in the foreign market, and the numbers are good, solid numbers, and better than they have been over the last little while. So very positive.
Yeah, and there is a lot of desire to de-risk right now. So doing the pre-sales, or you get a financing offer from a financier, but it is contingent upon hitting a certain level of pre-sales. what we're seeing is the debt market right now is really competitive, because, exactly. So, didn't mean to jump your point.
Great segue. So perfect. Okay, so now that the door's open, switching over to the financing side of it, and where is film financing today in the marketplace? Look, what is it like raising capital right now? Is it difficult? Is it easier than it used to be? We're seeing a lot of need for capital raising at the major studio level. There's no bones about that. If you look at what's going on with Paramount, you look at Warner Brothers Discovery, you look at the debt levels, there's equity that needs to be raised into the marketplace for companies across the board. So what sources of capital are available and out there right now? And what does it take to be successful raising capital?
So I'll speak to that since we just completed a new partnership, $200 million new capital, private credit for film and TV producers. And we see a lot of appetite from private equity, private credit, alternative debt to get into media specifically.
You're just trying to hurt me.
And I think it's partly because some of the old models for financing content are drying up, or they're a little bit more hesitant. And I came from venture capital before I got into film and TV. Venture is also not as good as it used to be as an asset class. And so everyone's looking for new places for yield and for opportunity. And we happen to be right place, right time, right company to forge these new partnerships. And a part of our model is to work with different capital providers in ways that aren't competitive with one another. And so that allows us to offer sort of like an end-to-end financing solution where it looks like FilmHedge is the lender, but it's actually made up by like 5 or 6 partnerships into a deal.
So you're actually packaging it up, sort of all components and pieces of that cap structure to get a film done.
Yeah.
So one-stop shop. See, now you're really killing me.
That's exactly right. We do everything but be a bank. We'll let you guys do that.
Okay, we'll still take the cash deposits for you. We got it.